And we are back once again. Welcome to the Still Knick Fans podcast. This is episode number 17. We keep doing it. We keep coming at you with this Knick content. I'm your man, Ron. That's my brother, John. What's happening, bro?
What's going on? Knick victories is what's going on. Knick victories
Facts.
is what's going on.
Facts, baby. You see it. You see it.
If my kids weren't sleeping right now, I hit them with the Ric Flair. Woo! But they all sound asleep, so I gotta chill.
Yeah, no. We'll keep it on the low.
I gotta keep it down. I gotta keep it low key.
Full effect, baby.
That's right. Playoff bound. You called it.
Hey, I did say that we clinched last week a spot in the playoffs. Looks like I was right. We still don't know what the positioning is yet, but we definitely did kind of secure ourselves to wind up. And at least I think, at worst comes to worst, I think we would be in the play-all part of it, like the play-in.
Play-in.
So, I think we're good to go. And the way they're playing right now, they definitely want to be in it.
Yep. And I don't think we're going to – well, that's not jinx. I'll knock on wood. But right now we're in a good spot. We hold our own faith. We're playing really good basketball. And, it ain't going to do much for us because the back end of the season is going to be tough. And I think we got a couple of more weeks till we hit May. And that schedule is going to start looking rough. We'll start going over that later on today. But for the most part, man, we've been solid. Our team play is solid. Our chemistry is solid. And man, everybody's hitting on all cylinders, man. It's so fun to see, man.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely happy, man. I like, the best part about it is just like waking New York City up, man. For everybody can see how good this team is playing. Like that's the most exciting part for me. I like being able to see other people start talk. I love seeing the haters talk about the Knicks. This is great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear. And what's awesome, even more awesome, like right now, and I spoke to my boy Mark, and we're Yankee fans. So right now we ain't got much going on for us right now. We're not doing so well. So I'm glad that we got the Knicks to keep us through the hump for right now. So then it gives us some time to stay in good spirits while our Yankees are slumping. And then when we turn that corner, we'll be good to go. But we'll see. Well, I'll put a pin on it for now. But we got the Knicks, and the Knicks are doing great. So super excited that we're still in the game and we're rocking right now. So it's pretty cool.
That's great. And I'm glad that, at some point down the line, you're hoping that the Yankees are going to turn it around. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm a Met fan, so, we don't got to talk right now. You know how we do.
It's early. Love the early victories.
Champs of April. That's what I hear a lot. Well, just get used to the champs of May, champs of, how it goes.
Look, that's a good slogan, man. You should put that on the shirt, man. That's a good, because that's the only way the Mets are going to be anywhere in the future. You keep winning, whatever. Keep becoming champs of the month, and you'll get there by October.
Listen. Let's get back to the Knick talk, because
these Knicks,
we talking down from first place on the Met side. So
the Knicks playoff bound. The Knicks playoff bound.
Okay, I'm with that. So that's cool. Yeah, man, this is a good run. I'm actually, we had our little predictions as to how we saw these next couple games.
Right.
Lakers was one of them that we talked about, right?
Right.
And then we said that the next 3 games were going to be the Pelicans, Mavericks, and the Pelicans again.
Right.
I think I thought we were going to go 2-1, and I think you said the same thing. We just differed on which ones they were going to win.
Exactly.
But it was 2-1, and then come to find out, it's 3-0.
3-0. I'll take it.
Oh, come on now.
It's the best of both worlds, huh?
I don't even know what to say right now. Yo, this is nuts.
But after that first game, right when we started when we started playing the first game against the Pelicans, when we got the win, you was like, "Damn, John hit it on the nose," because you could see that defense really locked in. It was different for the Pelicans to see that sort of defense that we were showing up with, and they weren't ready for that. So, it was interesting to see that one, and I knew he was like, "Man, John got that one right." So I gotta.
I knew it, dude. I knew it. I seen it, and I was like, you know what? The way this is going, okay, John's out the gate. He was on the money with it, so he's right. And then the way they were playing today's game against the Pelicans and how it was shifting, I was like, oh, this might be the L because they had another, they got to see everything they're coming at. They try to adjust, but then the Knicks came through again, baby. I'm like, oh man, what's happening?
Yeah, they pulled that one out.
I'm ecstatic.
That was pretty cool,
hyped.
dude. Like Derrick Rose. Like, let's talk about the MVP of today's game. I'm not talking about the season. Today's game. If it wasn't for Derrick Rose, like he did everything that we needed him to do, offensively and defensively. He showed up, man, and it was good because it's like these are those games you look back at and you're like, man, that's a close one. We probably could have took it, and he proves that you stay in the game and you put in that effort, you have an opportunity to win games at the end. You know what I mean? And it's just making smart decisions. Like I would have shot that too. Like I literally, if that was me, I'm going for the bucket, and then
What
I'm
else
trying
you
to
gonna
foul.
do?
But
You know what I mean?
he just got great court vision, man, to find Bullock in that corner with a big three. It was crazy. I was on I was on the car driving, hearing it. Once he hit a three, I started screaming, yeah. So I was coming back from my softball game, and I was like, it was dope.
Sometimes those are the best, dude. Those are the best. Like when you're listening to the game and you can't see it, but something big is happening that you really need to happen. Oh man,
Right,
that's like
right.
when the Knicks made the playoffs, and I think they were playing Boston in the first round, and J.R. Smith hit a big three in the fourth quarter. It was like I was listening to it in the cab ride. I was going nuts. It was crazy. Yeah. But the thing is, they are definitely at a place right now where they have the confidence that they think they could beat anybody, which is good. Right. I mean, it may not be true like in a playoff series against the top teams firing on all cylinders, but you got to go into every game you're playing with that same mindset because that gives you the chance to win. And they have it right now because they definitely, they're playing like it.
But the way they're playing, and if they land on 6 or 5 or even 4, they're going to play teams that they're capable of beating, which is interesting, right? It's not like they're on the lower end of the tier where you got to play the top number 1 team,
right,
in that division. You know what I mean? So if they stay in the middle, they have an opportunity to build from that and potentially play against teams you have an opportunity, you have a good opportunity to beat in the first round. You know what I mean? And then second and third round a little different, but at least the first round, if you stay where we're at, good chances that we may be the better team. So
I agree. I think I really would love for them to see if they can move up to definitely that 5 spot, maybe even the 4 spot.
4, yeah.
4 would be great. And it's doable because it's so close right now. So you don't know what's going to happen.
Every team is like a game away from each other, right? So what do we have? Who's right in front of us? Is it Celtics and
then the Celtics and then the Hawks.
Celtics and Hawks, right? And then we're gonna be seeing both of those teams.
Yeah, so they're like right in front of us, like one game, and they're tied at that.
Right. So it's big. It's going to be big coming down the stretch of the season. We're going to see those teams again. So we got to come with it and, pencil that in on the calendar because, it's those are big games. So
very true. Very true. Well, I mean, since we're talking about these games and how great the Knicks played in that first game against the Pelicans, it was interesting. And this is another thing that I'm looking at. I'm like really happy because I guess this goes back to you guys, which I don't want to give the Yankees credit for anybody, the whole next man up thing. But that's what we're talking
It's a
about right
great
here.
mantra. It's a great
No,
mantra.
it is.
It
But that's
is.
what we're talking about because in the Nick game against the Pelicans, the first RJ didn't really have it.
Right.
I think
True.
Burks played a good game,
Yeah, Burks
right?
did play really well. Yep.
And Julius contributed with big buckets as he usually does. Those were
Julius has done
keys.
it all year, man. He is like legit. If they haven't fully stamped that title of the Black Messiah, they should. They should. Like it's legit, man. Like you gotta give a guy like that a nickname for the year that he's having, man. He should have one of those like majestic, nicknames. And it's crazy, man. He's been lights out. I know weeks and weeks on, you've been giving him the when we do the stock rises, he's been your stock riser for most of
I
the
don't even want to
season.
call it anymore because he deserves it every week.
It's just what it is. At this point, it's just he is now becoming that perennial all-star. You know what I mean? That every team wants one of, and we have one. You know what I mean? To think that we started the season thinking of trading this man. It's amazing, the transformation. And it only took a coaching staff, legitly a coaching staff that held him accountable and he held himself accountable to kind of playing in a system that can succeed in the NBA. I think it's amazing. It's amazing. I don't think it's ever been seen before, to be honest. I've never witnessed it.
And in actuality, I was just thinking about it. I didn't think about it until you just said that right at this point. Thibodeau should probably be in the running for Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I
Why
feel
not?
like I don't know what else is going on around the league right now that I'm paying attention to.
Right.
But if I was looking at anything, Thibodeau should win Coach of the Year. I mean, come on. Who else?
I'm biased, so I'm gonna say yes.
You don't even have to
but
be biased. Look at
but
that
I'm not
record
really
last year to
true.
this year.
True, but I'm not even paying attention to the rest of the NBA, to be honest. So to be subjective, I'm not going to be because I'm not really watching the other
That's what I'm
teams that
saying too.
closely. Right. So,
But I'm just thinking, like, there's no way, like, I'm not saying the Knicks were in last place, but they damn near have one of the worst records in the league.
oh yeah,
So
they're
going from
abysmal.
that to 4 games over 500, being
Right.
in playoff contention,
Right.
like
It's
that's saying
unheard of.
something.
It's
That's saying
unheard
something.
of. It's not, even though people will be like it's a shortened season, it's not really it's a 10-game shortened season. It's like by 10 games. If they wanted to continue to play the extra 10 games, they can. It's not going to change the outcome. Right now.
I don't want to hear anything. The Lakers won the championship in a bubble. I don't want to
exactly. But what I'm saying is that it's not going to change the outcome. The outcome is what we went from abysmal, horrible team, a team that just didn't have it together. It was bad in the locker room, just as bad in the locker room as it was on the court. And now you shift the complete paradigm the opposite way. And now there's countless of reports that other players want to come play for us. And it's like, and I get it, that's the New York media doing what they do, but there may be some truth to that. You know what I mean? There may be some truth to that.
It's going to happen. The way the Knicks are playing right now,
right?
Come on, man.
It's like, and Barrett is holding his own, and yeah, he's going to have spots where he's not knocking them down, but you know what? He plays strong defense. He could be a natural number 2. And if you're a player who's got some stock in their game, you come to the Knicks, you're like, I don't have to take on the full load. I can play amongst these guys who are sharing the ball equally and are playing, and I can play heavy minutes with this team. You know what I mean? So, like, I could see it. I could see, players wanting to come here now. So,
like now it's like at some point you're looking at the situation with the Knicks and you're saying, okay, well, when's the other shoe going to drop?
Right.
The other shoe has not dropped, and in fact, they seem to have gotten better. So then you got to say they're a for real team.
Yeah,
the defense is for real.
The shoes are laced up, man. they're all the way tied, double knotted, and all that because they ain't coming off.
And it's not even that the Knicks have turned their season around and they're playing better basketball, and Julius has become an all-star, and you're seeing and RJ is starting to play better and coming to his own, and then you got other pieces that have stepped up. Right. The Knicks have the best defense in the league, dude. It's
number 1 still, right?
I mean, come on, man.
This is legit 16, 17 weeks because this is our 17th podcast. So this is 17 weeks in and we're still number 1.
If
Couldn't have
that's not a
seen it.
360, dude, I don't know what is.
That's what I'm saying. We
Look,
couldn't
look,
have
you
seen this. Like, I'm
can't even
getting
control
nervous.
yourself. You can't
I
control.
can't. I'm breaking stuff over here. I couldn't. I like, you couldn't call that. You couldn't. Nobody could have called that. You know what I mean? Like the odds on favorite. You know what I mean? And when you think about like what we were projected as, and like what they call it, Las Vegas and those folks had like the
Yeah, yeah.
21-1 odds. Like, well,
Forget it.
nobody could predict that we were going to be in the playoffs. And look, we're in the playoffs. We were just talking in the beginning of the season of trying to, you know, stick to 500, but also be competitive. And if we didn't as long as we were competitive and got some games, we would have been happy. You know what I mean? Even with like, you know, a decent, not a great record. I mean, right now we're pushing a really good record, although we're only 2 games over 500. How many games over 500? 4 games over 500, right? So 4 games over 500, no one would have seen that. You know what I mean? So,
Dude, I'm not a gambler, so people out there, I don't gamble, I don't condone it, but if I was to, this is
right.
one of those weird. I don't watch it, but I hear about crazy stuff. Like you see like little commercials for fan doing all that stuff on the TV, and
Right.
some guy did some crazy bet. This is one of those weird bets where if you bet that the Knicks are going to make the playoffs and that they're going to finish first in defense, you know how much money you would have made?
Yeah.
Like who
I
the
don't
hell
even
would
know.
think that?
I don't even know how that even works in Vegas, but
Well,
I
anyway,
don't know
whatever.
if you could go that granular, but if you
Yeah,
did, that's a
that's just
good.
nuts. But anyway, all right, I don't know. It's just nuts. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, the Knicks have continued their winning ways, and the game against the Pelicans, Alec Burks was just so clutch, dude, making big shot after big shot. Like that guy has turned. I mean, I liked him coming into the Knicks, but I really didn't see too much of him. I just felt like he was a really good, role player.
Right.
But
Right.
watching him, we saw his ups and downs, but his consistency that he's shown for however many, games
Mm-hmm.
now,
Yep.
the guy is like he's turned into a piece that you say, damn, going into next season, I wouldn't mind having Alec Burks back on this team.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. What is he out now with? I know he's out. Was that COVID
Uh,
related? I think it's
I
COVID
didn't
related, right?
I didn't see I just knew he was going to be out for the Maverick game, and I knew he
Game.
was going to be out for this game, but
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's COVID related. But if it wasn't for that, I think you would have probably seen a couple of more really solid outings from him, because he just understands the system that they're playing in, and he knows when to pick his spots. His mid range game is, it's on point, and once he starts firing on all cylinders, man, he's a deep threat. And
Yeah,
so,
his only issue that I ever noticed, well, sometimes he gets a little lackadaisical on defense, but
yeah,
his only issue as far as offensively that I've ever noticed is sometimes for whatever reason when he'll come into a game and his shot will be flat, like he'll shoot
right,
it straight at the rim instead of with a little arc. And when
hmm
he's shooting like that, he has like tough nights before he gets it going.
right,
But when he comes into the game, he's got the arc on his shot. Oh, that's going to be a great
yeah.
game from him.
And it's pretty. It's like, man, it's like it's real nice. It's fluid. You know what I mean? He's got some, he's crafty. He's another crafty player, very some, like IQ has a very crafty type of game. So does Burks, So yeah, I really enjoyed the last few weeks of seeing him play and doing what he's been doing. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping that going into the next stretch of games that everybody remains healthy,
Yeah.
and because what would be great is if everybody just kind of plays everything plays out and everybody stays healthy, and then we get Mitch back.
Yeah.
Although I'm a
Are
little
we? Are
worried
they?
about
Are they
that.
thinking about getting him? Is he coming back
It's
before
a
the?
chance.
There
It's
is
a
a chance.
chance, but I'm a little worried about it too because Mitch, when you think about how many games he's missed,
Hmm.
in total, and how they're playing great, and Noel has stepped up and he has his role, and then I don't know, like I feel like it would mess up the chemistry a little bit when you kind of throw him. I don't know. I'm still iffy about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. I think he's played enough games with the starting squad that if he needed to come off the bench, he'll be fine. I don't know. And the great thing about the way the coach Tibbs is kind of coaching is saying, everyone, you're going to have an opportunity. What you do with that opportunity is up to you, right? And whether you start or you don't start doesn't necessarily mean you won't end the games, right? Because
Right.
he's shown that if you're in the game defensively and you're applying the effort, even if you have a poor shooting night, that you may have some minutes at the stretch of games. He's shown it. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, are folks putting in the effort, and are they in the game? Are they mentally in the game? Because if they are, then he's going to you.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And so I'm not too concerned. I think we can use the healthy body. I like that we kept Norvell Pell.
Yeah. No,
I
we
like
need
that.
him for depth.
Yeah, just the depth alone, I like that. And he's kind of a bruiser type. He's very similar to, like, you know, um, what Mitch brings, but a little bit more, like, more weight. But look, if he comes back, man, that just helps us, because we need that rim protection. That's a big thing. And Norland's Noel has shown up defensively. I think you were telling me earlier today that he's a really solid contributor defensively. And I was picking on him early in the season. He's light in the butt and everything like that. He still is. He gets pushed around from time to time, but look, can't the effort's there. He's getting amazing blocks. What is he averaging? Like two blocks a game, maybe a little
2 or 3
more.
a game. Yeah, I think it's 2 point something. But
Right.
like realistically, he's been having 4 or 5 block games, man, a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it's like he's got a magnet in his hand. There's another magnet on the ball, dude. I mean, I don't
Right.
even understand how he's making and they're clean blocks for the most
Yeah.
part.
He's
It's
got good
rarely that.
timing. He's got
Yeah,
good timing.
really good, really good,
Really
really
good
good.
timing. And he's
Bad
got a
hands, but
yeah, he can't catch to save his life. It's like, oh man, when he caught that when he caught a few passes recently, I was like shocked. I was like, oh yeah, nice move. Because I was kind of like, there's some
it's
moments and I'm like,
unbelievable, man.
catch
It's
the
unbelievable.
ball, bro. Um, but
Well, that's the thing about him. He's going to be that type of guy, but I like the fact that he still gives that hard effort on defense. And it's
right,
contagious because you know how it is when you're playing defense. Guys see a guy go all out and get a big block like that and the ball
oh yeah,
goes yeah.
without a doubt, that's where people put in the extra effort on the other side, because then they're going on offense, and then now they're trying to score a bucket. Like RJ, you can tell, like he's like, yeah, I'm going to get to that basket and try to score a bucket. So we've had our moments where we've had good transition, off of a rebound, off of a block, and we transitioned on the offensive side and made some buckets. Like we're getting more and more comfortable, quickening up the pace a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I see more what they call that, more pep in their step,
Transition.
offensive, yeah, in the transition basketball, but like more pep in their step. Even with like Randall, when he got the ball in his hands, he's really jumpy. He's got like a swag, a flow to his game more now than he did early on. Is it's good to see, because that's what's going to take you to that next level, and he's showing it. Um, you know, they're
They're
running the court.
they're
I don't
moving
know,
the ball too. The ball
moving the
movement is a
ball.
lot better. It's a lot
Yeah,
cleaner.
a lot cleaner. They missed some shots where you wish they could knock down, but again, they're not the best shooting team in the league. But in this stretch of games, what is this? What is this? 5 in a row? Is this 5 in a row? 6 in a row?
6 in a row.
6 in a row. In this stretch of games, man, you can see where guys are hitting big shots and big moments, and that's what it takes. So
Yeah, man.
it's
I'm
exciting,
definitely
man. We
I'm happy that they came to play and they went out and they took game one with the Pelicans, and kept that whole winning momentum going. Like it was a
right.
good game. They hit some big shots, and probably that game was the most comfortable of these last three.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
first one
yeah.
was the most comfortable.
Yeah, because that was kind of like a from first quarter to the, well, they were close in the first quarter, but like from, like, you could say we won the third quarter, and that third quarter, once we won the third quarter, it was like we knew we had this in the bag. We were up enough, and I think fourth quarter we got into like a 10 point lead, something like that,
Yeah,
and we
yeah, yeah.
stretched it out. So
That was a
Yeah.
comfortable win.
Yep. And then I was
But
like all about it because I was like, I called that. I called it. They weren't ready for that type of defense.
you was
And they
right.
weren't. And they
You was
weren't
right. You was
because
right.
Zion couldn't get off. Zion was like he couldn't like he just was confused. I mean, he did what he do, but he was not, we were giving him like shoot the ball. We were making him shoot the ball. He was shooting tough shots.
Yeah.
So
And unfortunately, like I mentioned, RJ didn't have a great game.
mhm.
It's just one of those things where the shots just wasn't going in. It was actually a really bad game for him
Mhm.
shooting wise. But he did a couple other things to kind of, do his part as he normally does. And you like
Right.
the big thing I like about him is like he has that calm to him, to his game,
Yeah.
that just one game, he'll come out the next game and try to do better. And in the
He
next
did.
game against the Mavericks, what
Right.
did he do?
Right.
He
He
came
showed
out
up.
and he got buckets. This is
Yeah.
the revenge game that I'm talking
And
about.
he was the one who kept us in the game. If it wasn't for Barrett, we'd have probably lost that game. He kept us in that game, especially in the first quarter. He was the one
Yep.
scoring the buckets, first quarter, first half, I would say. And then
No,
Randall
no,
got
yeah.
going, so
And I like it because one, it's the Dallas Mavericks, and I have this thing now all season with the Mavericks that I
oh
do
yeah.
not like. I do not like when they win games because it
Right.
affects us. And then they got Porzingis, and anytime they play, Porzingis has to get the L. So this was a
Right.
revenge game, and they needed to win this game, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah, they showed up, man. Like I said, it was good to see. You know what I mean? The passing was crisp, and they were knocking down shots again. And that's all you can ask for from a team that we've lost against. I think we lost twice to them already, right? And this was the
Yep.
third. This was the
This
third
is
and
the
last
third
game
game.
against
It's the
them, and
third
we
game.
we
Yeah.
got the last one, and that's what counts. We got the last one, and we showed up. We actually played their team more effectively this time around defensively. It's like we seen them. They really game planned against Doncic. You know what I mean? And they would. It looked like they wanted Porzingis to beat them. You know what I mean? That's what it seemed like. But
Yeah.
Porzingis wasn't ready to beat us. You know what I
But he
mean?
did have a good game though. This was by
He
far
did.
the first time they played him. I don't think he played. The second time he
Second
did
time
play,
he
but he
did.
didn't play well.
Right.
But this time he actually played well,
But
which
Doncic is kind of in the fourth quarter. You got to get him off his game, right? And I think that was the big difference. Is like he even scored buckets, but we doubled him. We kept somebody in his face, and that's different than what we did the first two games where we were giving him open lane. And I'm gonna give kudos to Payton because Payton played them really well this game.
hmm
He played some,
hmm
really tough defense. He was in his face. He was making it difficult for him to get shots up. He even got into like, some argument with was a Reggie Bullock at some point. You know what I mean? So, you know,
yeah,
it's
they
it's
all they
gritty.
all stepped up. Even Randall, I know he got a huge steal,
Oh
but
yeah,
he
yeah,
might have gotten more than one in the game because I feel like he got two big steals in the game, but the one was huge. Like they
right.
definitely needed it, and it helped turn the momentum.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's what kind of gave them a little bit of a boost.
Mhm.
Plus, he was on fire. So I mean,
Yeah,
he
he was
finished with
killing.
44, 10, and 7. I think.
Yeah, he was
Come on,
killing.
man.
He was killing. He was
These
killing.
these numbers are crazy.
Right. And then you think you trade Porzingis to make room for a player, and who comes in? Randall off of that move. Call it what it is. Do we got the best of the breed at this point? That's the
Without
best
question.
without question, right? Like I
It's one
would
of
say
those
that
crazy things, yeah. I mean, look,
because
it's one of the situations where you trade Porzingis, everybody's flipping because you're getting picks, and you're getting Dennis Smith Jr. Then you wind up getting Julius. He doesn't
right,
show up to be what you expect him to be right away. Now this year, he's playing out of his mind. And if you said, let's get Porzingis back for Julius, who's doing that trade?
no
Nobody.
one, no
So
one, not anymore. And that brings me to say, I think when I was talking about it, maybe in like week 10, 11, how they have Randall playing is how they wanted Melo to play. This is basically what they wanted to see from Melo. The same type of attributes. And Julius Randle, who doesn't really supposedly have the jump shot, is the one who's making this happen because He's commanding the double team. And that's what they wanted Melo to do. Command the double team, pass out the double team, and get guys open shots. Randall's
Mm-hmm.
doing it. Randall's officially doing it. Like Melo was doing it from, you know, different games. He's had really good games, but he was more of a scoring threat than he was a passing threat. And he didn't play much defense. We get a Randall who is doing the passing, the scoring, and playing defense, man. You can't get any better than that. You can't get any better than
It's
that.
crazy. I, it's just one of those things where the Knicks really lucked out, and their mindset as to their approach for this season has worked out perfectly. Even the
Yeah.
moves they made last year, where like they had Marcus Morris, and they were like, "Nope, gotta let him go." I didn't
Yep.
love it, but they see something and they understand better as to the long picture and how things are gonna have to work. Hey man, it's been working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the front office, man. It's smart moves by the front office. Dolan is staying out of the media hype. He's doing his own thing. He's letting us rock. He's letting his team rock, and we're showing up like they're doing what they're supposed to do. And that's what Knicks fans have always been asking for. Stay out of the way. Put good basketball minds together. Put them in place. Let them do their thing. Let's give us an opportunity to win ball games. Let's put a nice team together. Um, can we get better? Of course, every team can. Every team can shore up, the point guard position or shore up the shooting guard position in the future. Of course, but that comes with time. First, you have to start how to learn how to win, and that's what Tibbs said in the beginning of the year. We have to learn how to win, and now we're learning how to win, and it becomes contagious. And we'll see next year. There'll probably be some moves made, and we hope that we can keep some of these guys with this team. But again, we gotta believe in that, in the front office. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
and we can't question, because they got us where we're at. So we can't question whatever moves they make moving forward. We have to live and die with that, at least for the next 4 to 5 years, and then see what that looks like.
When I told you this is turning out to be the best case scenario, because this is what I
Yeah.
wanted. I wanted the Knicks to be like they could be minor players at the trade deadline, but nothing
Mm-hmm.
crazy to shake up the team, because I wanted these guys to play. Not only
Right.
are they playing, they're playing well. So Tibbs has
Really
got to
good.
say to
Right.
himself, you know what? I got a good little squad on my hands. We just need some pieces to add to make it that much better. But he's got to like what he's seeing.
Yeah. And he's been saying it. Well, he sees it a lot more firsthand than we do. Like, we only see what we see in the games. He's
Right.
seeing what's happening in practice. He's seeing people's progression. We're only seeing we're only seeing New Orleans Noel missing that. You know what I mean? Missing those passes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But for the most part, he sees it. He sees it in practice. He sees it every day. He's seeing how people are learning the game and knowing the playbook or learning the playbook. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we don't see. So I'm liking what they're doing, man. Again, super excited for the season. The season's going as well as it can ever go. Again, let's hope people stay healthy. Let's go into the playoffs with a full roster, and then see if we can shake it up a bit, because
I agree.
it's
I
going to be
agree.
fun. It's
I
going to be
like it.
fun.
I like it.
I got to get me a Never Sleep, New York Never Sleep shirt. I got to get one of those for the playoffs. I
Shouldn't be
got to
hard to
do it.
find. I'm sure
I
they
got
are
to do
everywhere.
it. I got to do
But
it.
I mean, I'm glad that game turned out to be what it was. And Julius had a fantastic game. RJ had like a 26 points, 8 rebounds. He played great, and
Mm-hmm.
big, strong buckets, man style.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then we go into another game with the Pelicans today, in which
That's their
this
revenge game, right?
right. So this, if we're calling, we're keeping score. I thought the Knicks were going to win this game and lose that first game, I believe. You
Yep.
thought they were going to win that first game against the
And
Pelicans
lose the
and
last one.
possibly lose this one, right?
Right.
So,
It
and
was
then
going in that direction, by the
it
way.
was, it was. But fortunately enough, Knicks
Derrick
came to play
Rose.
again, man. And
Derrick
Derrick Rose
Rose.
was fantastic. His best game as a Knick. Like, I think this is his best game as a Knick ever. Like, even when he was with
You
us the
think
first
so?
time around. I think
I can't
so. I don't
recall.
know.
He had another good one in this year. This year, he had another good one against the
Well, this
Pistons,
is
I
the
think it
most
was.
points he scored as a Knick this
Right,
time
right,
around.
right, right, right,
Definitely.
right, right, right.
But it was just really good shots. Like
What he
he
ended up with, like 22,
20. I don't
24.
want. I think it was 24.
Okay.
But I'll just talk to him. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, he just he played really well, and it was his decision making which was solid too,
Hmm.
especially at the end of the game when he made his little move to drive and dish and he kicked it to Bullock for three.
Man, that was good. I
Oh,
would have. I was like, I'm shooting that every time.
oh man.
I was like, there's no way Lonzo expected that pass to come because he's
And,
wide open to the rim, and that's what that's what made the move. It's like the little shift, and Lonzo gave him enough room to knock that one down. So
and it's surprising too because he was having a good scoring game. So usually in those type of situations, you think he might shoot.
right, right, yeah, no, it's
He finished with
amazing.
23.
23. He's like, oh, can you think about now? Let's talk about moves. Look at that move. You get rid of Dennis Smith Jr., who was buried, not seeing the light of day for a guy who's, of course, even though he's Tip's guy, but has shown up. He had his COVID stint or whatever, but he has showed up. And that's super important because he's a locker room guy. He's a good person. He's got, all the intangibles that you want in a player. He has it. And he has the experience of being the youngest MVP to ever lace it up. You
It's
don't
very
you
true.
you know what I mean? Like you
Very
can't
true.
buy that. And we just got that for absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Talk about a robbery. That was a straight up New York old school 80s
That's a
flow
heist.
robbery. That's a heist.
I'm not mad at it, man. I'm definitely not mad at it. It's
Yeah.
look, the Knicks have been like
It's about
the
time.
yeah, they've been the butt of many jokes for many years, and they've gotten the bad end of many different
Mhm.
trades. And it's about time stuff like this starts to happen for them. That they get breaks. They got some breaks in the recent drafts. Second
Mhm.
round picks turned out to be pretty good. They need this type of stuff. Every team needs some type of
It's,
good
it's,
luck.
it's been like 25 years, man.
Come on,
That
yeah,
that good, so we're
so it
due.
was
We're
about
due.
time that they got a little something. And the thing about this game, which was interesting, you know, Julius Randle finished with 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. He had 0 points in the
Zero.
first quarter, dude.
None. And he was shooting horrible for the field. He had like at least he threw up like 5 shots, and they were good looks. They weren't falling, and then turned it around.
It's
Turned it around.
unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable.
Confidence, man. He
Confidence
just
is king.
he's just showing it. He's showing that confidence. He even when he's not starting out the game really strong, And then he had that a couple of games ago too, like maybe a couple of weeks ago where he had a bad shooting night, but then he started passing the ball and then he was getting his assist and he ended the game with a triple double. But it was in this 20, he had like a 20-point game, but with a triple double. It's like, and he started shooting the ball poorly, and it's like he kept at it. So
Yeah, no.
gee, the
Look,
Black Messiah. I'm
yeah,
telling
the
you,
Black
gotta
Messiah, man. We're just
nickname
fortunate
him,
that
gotta lock it in.
he's on the Knicks and he's coming into his own.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited that we didn't move on him. When everybody thought he needed to go. Because no one wanted him. No one wanted him with the ball in his hands. That's for sure. To think everybody started the season and like we can't do a whole season with Randall holding the ball and everything playing through Randall. That's all I heard. That's all I heard from the first week. That's all you heard. We got it. He's gonna turn over the ball. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. And he just shifted, and now everybody's riding his wave. You know what I mean? So everybody just gotta, hey, kudos to him, man. I didn't think he was that bad of a player personally. I like that we had him, but I just didn't know he was going to be this good. You know what I mean? I thought he
And,
was going to be a good player, and he could be a good player on our team, but I didn't think he was going to be all-star caliber.
I think he just didn't know how to play, and that means what he didn't know how to play. No,
What?
I think he just didn't know how to play winning basketball, like what it takes
Right,
to get the wins. Like you could go out there and get your buckets because he's a
right,
beast. I mean, he dropped 40 something on Enes Kanter back in the day when the Knicks had him. Like
right,
he could score, but
right. But
He
that's
never knew
Enes
how to
Kanter. He's
score.
not the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah, but he never knew how to score and
Right.
then grab the rebounds and get the assist, get everybody
Right.
else
Right. Right.
involved, and play defense the way he's been playing defense.
Right.
So, yeah. And another thing I was going to say about Derrick Rose, it just reminded me, his effort is really something to be praised,
Oh.
because he's not the greatest one-on-one defender, like in front of you defender. What he
Mm-hmm.
does is he uses his athleticism to recover. So even
Mm-hmm.
if you get past him, you go up for the shot, you think it's gonna, he blocks you. Like, he uses that ability to
Yeah.
jump and still, I
And he
can't
still
tell you
got
how
little
much.
springs. He still got some
Yeah,
springs in him. You know what I mean? And like, he ain't the most explosive anymore player, but those intangibles, man, and that heart that he brings, like, you didn't see that when he was with the Knicks the first time, because it's the wrong. When you were in the wrong system, you ain't motivated. You know what I mean? When folks are telling you, I need you to shoot and chuck up 4 threes a game, and that's not your game, you're not going to be motivated. You're going to be like, why am I doing this? And when I
that's a
got
fact.
guys like Melo on my team who need the ball and they shoot the ball, and I got all these shooters around me, and you want me to shoot threes? Like, that doesn't make sense. I think was he with the D'Antoni Knicks? Was he around? I think he was with the D'Antoni Knicks. Was he not? Or
I'm
my
not sure.
We had
I'm not sure.
so many coaches during that span. You know what I mean? It could have been Hornacek. No, it was Hornacek. It was Jeff
Yeah,
Hornacek.
no, it was Hornacek. It was
Yeah.
Hornacek.
And it was that Utah system, that pick and roll, and then shoot threes. And they wanted him not to be John Stockton. They wanted him to be Hornacek shooting threes in the corner.
That's
It's
not
like,
gonna work.
it's not going to work with Derrick Rose. And he's a guy who's going to score buckets first. He can dish, but at that time in his game, he still felt like he was potentially become an all-star still. You know what I mean? So your mind state is a little different. He's coming off an injury. He's with a new team. He had some players. I think it was it Porzingis on the team still? It was Porzingis and Melo on the team. And can you imagine being told that you got to shoot 3-pointers with Porzingis and Melo on the team? That's crazy. So
Yeah, it doesn't really jive with his game.
yeah, you got to have the right coaching staff, man. It's important to have the right type of mix of players gel with their coaching staff, because if you don't and you don't practice what you preach, you kind of lose them, especially because
I
they're
agree.
grown men. You got grown
That's a
men
fact.
playing a game. You know what I mean? And if you can't see them eye to eye and be held accountable as a coach, and then hold your players accountable the same way, they ain't gonna respect it. It's just what it is.
Yep,
So
I agree. You're right. That's definitely the truth, and I think that's the reason why this team has had so much success. I mean, because they got they know Tibbs came in with a track record, and they know he's a disciplinarian. They
right,
know he's going to bark, and he barks
right.
during the game.
Right.
So
It don't matter who you are. It don't matter if
yeah,
you're the star player, you're the guy. If you're Theo Pinson and you ain't cheering, you're gonna get balked on. Nah. But
you better get the
you know what I mean?
dancing, Gil.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Harper, get up, cheer for your guys. Stop playing
Facts.
games. But
Yeah, that's you're doing something.
exactly, even if you're on the bench, you should be paying attention, because you never know when your number's called, and you got to come in and fill in. Same thing with Nilakina. Coming in, stop doing those retarded fouls. Come on now. Stop. Come
Yo,
on.
today's foul when he
Come on.
they even reviewed it.
What? It's like, bro, you under him,
Yo,
man. Why are you
he's so
under
funny
him?
to me, man.
Oh man, it's funny. But Knox had a showing today too, man. Knox showed himself
Yeah.
today. He was out there for a few.
It's
Listen,
nice to see him. It's nice to
it's
see him.
good. He got a bucket. He took some of Toppin's minutes. You see that. But again, I can see that I think he's just using his players in spots. I think it's really gonna be an 8-man roster. The closer we get to the end of the season, he's really gonna solidify an 8-man roster in the last 2 weeks. You're gonna see those 8 players play, and then everybody else will get a garbage minute or two just for rest, just to keep people fresh, and that's what it's gonna be. You know,
Oh,
if you do something with that minute, then great.
I mean, I hope he still continues to go with like a 9 man to 10 man, definitely a 9 man because I really think that he needs to play Toppin in there just to spell Julius, you know,
Yeah.
um, and obviously if it's not working well, I mean, just yank him out the game. Like it's not going to kill you to put him in there unless he's just handing the ball to the other team. But just
Mhm.
you got to give Julius a little bit of a break, man. The guy,
Yeah.
and it's going to help his game because he can't he's gonna it's gonna what happens if this guy's out there playing nonstop and
Uh-huh.
tweaks an ankle? Season is done. Okay.
Look, it looked that way, right? Like there was a what, how many games ago? Maybe 6, 7 games ago, where he had that thigh bruise, and everybody's
Hmm.
like, "Oh man, here it goes. Tibbs is overusing him, yada yada yada." And then all of a sudden, he's back to he healed
Look at what
properly, and
look
then
at
he
what he's done since then.
right.
Imagine.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to spell a minutes. I agree wholeheartedly, but you also have to pick the right spots to do it. And the thing is we played some really close games, and these really close games can change the way where you're at in those standings too. And I think Tibbs has an idea of that, and I think that's why you're seeing heavy minutes at the end because it's too close to call some of these games. We got the big lead on the Pelicans, and he got some rest in the end, but you know um, I don't know, man. We gotta pick those spots. Um,
Well, speaking of picking spots, how about we
oh,
pick the risers and the fallers?
sure, sure.
So
Let's do it.
I'll start off first because mine is easy, and you can't question me
What are you
because
doing?
it's
What are you
always.
doing? Where are we
I'm
going?
going with
Rises?
I'm going with the riser.
Yeah, yeah. Of course. Let's do this. Can't
Uh,
question it.
it's Julius Randle. I don't even want to
Absolutely.
talk about it no more. It's Julius. It's always
I
Julius. It's gonna be Julius.
I don't even have to double up on that one. It is what it is. It is Julius. Julius is the reason why we were in a 6 game winning streak, without
I don't
question.
even like orange Julius as a drink, but I think I may start. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, but this,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the same for me, man. It's Julius Randle. It's definitely Julius Randle. You got a 6 game winning streak. We got everything on the line. We're super close in the mix with other teams in the playoffs, and we're winning games that we were calling as losses. You know what I mean? So, hey, I'm gonna take that. Julius deserves it.
he's the difference maker, man. He's the one
Yep.
constant.
Yep.
There's maybe only 2 games in this season where I can say he really had 2 bad games.
Right.
But every other game when he's had like games that didn't, turn out to be typical Julius games that he showed, he's
Right.
contributed. And by the end of the game, his stat line looked great. He's done
Triple
all this other.
doubles.
There's only
Right.
2 games where he had really bad games. And those are just off games that you can't do it.
Right.
No matter what you do, you can't do anything right.
Yep.
Happens.
Yep.
But yeah, so he's that guy. And so who do you got
Going
as a
for the
riser?
faller. Oh
Oh
no,
no.
the
Oh,
riser
you're going
is
with him as your
Julius.
riser too. Oh,
It's
that's what I'm
gotta be.
talking
It's
about,
gotta
man.
be.
That's what I'm talking about.
There's no way it can't be right now. You know what I mean? I mean, you have guys who've had good games and everything. Like you could have gone with Bullock, Burks, who's
Burks,
had
right?
really good games and stuff like that. But at this point in the game and the way we won these last 6 in a row, it starts with Julius. It starts and ends with Julius, and he's the reason why. So, um, but I'll tell you who my faller is. My faller is, this is a tough one because you know everyone's contributed. You know what I mean? Everyone's contributed in their own way. But I think I want to say my faller will continue to be IQ because of the inconsistency. You know what I mean? And if he can start finding some consistent shot making, you know what I mean? Then, but he hasn't done poor. He hasn't done bad either. You know
No.
what I mean? And he's kind of like in the same realm as Bullock, where you wish he could be more consistent, but he'll hit big shots. You know what I'm saying? So it's the
Yeah.
same thing with IQ. Those two guys are kind of super inconsistent in their play, but they'll hit a big bucket or two. So
Yeah, he just hasn't found that same you know, I guess his same playing gameplay the way he was playing earlier in the season. But then again, it's also harder to find it because it's not needed. Like the way
That's true.
the Knicks are playing, they're playing a
Right.
little different brand of basketball. Before it was kind of he
Open
was
space. Right.
yeah.
Very
So
Linsanity like, right?
and
It was
maybe that's hurt him a little bit too because he doesn't have the same lanes to kind of the freedom to do whatever he wants. The
right.
defense already knows his game. He just has to figure out how am I going to adjust now.
That's a key point right there. The defense knows his game now, where before they didn't really know what his game was.
Right.
So how do you do a playbook against them, right? How do you put something together to kind of defend a guy who you don't really know what he's capable of? And I think he took full advantage of that the first, few weeks. And
Right.
and he shocked New York, right? Like New York didn't know we had something and we got something. And I still think it's better than what we've had in the past. You know what I mean? Can he potentially turn into our point guard of the future? Who knows? You know what I mean? What we do know, he can hit free throws, and when he's hot, he can hit them from the 3-point range. You know what I mean? And he gets in
Yep.
there. He plays some D. I don't, he's a rookie. He's gonna make mistakes, but he gets in there. He tries. He rebounds the ball, good for a guard. I'll give him that. So
Well, we'll see what happens with him. I mean, like it's that rookie wall that
mhm,
all rookies have to go through, and he's going through it now.
right.
Um,
But
but
he's
it
learning.
doesn't matter. He's learning. Yeah, he's gonna get out of it. I
Yeah.
feel it. I feel
And you
it.
see those kids
Um,
kind of absorbing it. Him and Toppin starting to absorb a lot more as
right.
time goes on. So who's your faller? Who do you think is gonna be your guy for this week?
Um, I would say for the faller, um, I
This is
think
hard.
I'm. Yeah, it's kind of
Tough.
tough because there's a lot of contributions from guys who normally, haven't really been able to find their way.
Right.
Uh, and I'm, I don't know. I guess the only it seems weird, but if I'm just look, this is really fine. I'm fine tuned. It's like a
Yeah.
real I'm gonna say RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
I
See.
know. Yeah, and
Right.
now the reason why I'm saying RJ Barrett is because while he did have a really good game against the Dallas
Mm-hmm.
Mavericks, he didn't have a good game against the Pelicans the first time around.
Right.
And today's game wasn't that great either. It
Well,
was
no.
better.
The first game he did. Oh no, it was Mavericks. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
He
The
did. Yeah.
Mavericks game, he in the between game, he had a good
Right.
game. And
Right.
I want to say not only did he not have a great day today either, but then he fouled out as well. And the only
Right.
reason why I'm saying that is because not only are these are meaningful games and it's great experience, but he's playing against his friend and his Duke buddy. And
Right.
you want to have that hey, I'm a rookie of the year type candidate. You're a rookie of the year type candidate. We always got to go back and forth because we're good
Right.
players.
Right.
So I don't like the fact that he wasn't able to show up in these last two games for this week
Mm-hmm.
against Zion and the Pelicans. I think that to me that would be the falling
Right. 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 Right.
person I could think of just for this week.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good pick because it was 3 games that we poked for. It was a week of
Yeah,
3 games, and
yeah, that's
I
all.
could see that. That's a good one. Um, but it's hard because you see everything else that they're accomplishing. It's like, man, it's tough to pick them week to week. But
That's
that's a
good.
good
This
one.
is the best case scenario. We want to have a tough time picking who's the faller. Yeah,
Right, and we want to come off of those as wins, right? We winning
yeah,
games, and we
exactly.
got to pick fallers. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's a good one.
All right.
So
Well, I mean, listen,
start going into talking about next week's games, man.
let's see what we got going on next week, man.
All right, cool.
But
Let
this
me
is
let me
great, man.
pop that
Who
up right
I'm
quick.
still I can't even think that the Knicks won 6 in a row, and this
It's
is great.
crazy, bro. It's so
Especially
crazy.
not that they won 6 in a row, that they won 6 in a row now towards the end of the season. This
Exactly.
means a lot more than doing it in the beginning of the season.
Exactly. Let me share right now. I'm gonna do that so we can see. So we have next the Hornets on Tuesday, the Hawks on Wednesday, Raptors on Saturday, and then Suns on Monday, which you can see. So we're basically talking about a three game swing. Oh, what's going on here? A 3 game swing. So
And those first two games, I mean, yeah, no, those first two games are big games.
yeah, yep.
Wow. So I'm gonna say it right now, which makes it a little bit more pressure packed because they've won 6 in a row. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you already have that internal clock. Hey, we're on a streak. Let's keep the streak going. But
Right,
then you got the fact that you're playing the Hornets, who is right behind
right
you.
behind us.
Yeah, so you want to win this game.
Right.
Um,
In
and then you
fact,
got
the next three you
oh
have,
yeah. Well, I mean the
like
Raptors are kind of,
you think they're
but
out?
still,
They're 10th, right, or something like
yeah.
that.
I mean, but you still want actually, you know what, you want to win that game too because everything's
Yeah.
so close. Anything can change around. So yeah, this is tough, dude. It's kind of almost like the Knicks need to win the next 3. Like you got yeah.
We need to get fat. If we're gonna get fat, we gotta get fat in the next couple of weeks. Because and I could scroll up a few more just to see why I'm saying we need to get fat in the next couple of weeks. I mean, let me do that. Let me just share that out to make my point. So if we scroll further up, so you see right after the Raptors games, we have the Suns, then we see the Bulls and the Rockets. You
Mhm.
have to get fat here. If you can
Yeah,
take the next 3, the Suns game is going to be a tough game. Then you play the Bulls, who are also playing in that play-in position. You can get them out of here, and then the Rockets, who haven't been playing really well, we can get that win too, right? Because then we finalized. We go ahead and go to the final end of the week. We're talking about Grizzlies, Nuggets, and I'm just gonna name them all: Grizzlies, Nuggets, Suns, Clippers, Lakers, Spurs. That's like
oh my.
ending the season, right? So that's a lot of hard games to win. And
Yeah,
that's my point.
I agree with you. Like, if you want to buckle down and say these are hard wins that we got to get, I would much rather them go crazy and try to get all of these games because if worst comes to worst and you go on a little losing streak against those teams, you still put yourself in a good position. I see what you're
That's
saying.
that's where I'm
I
going with it.
agree.
And that's why I'm saying like these are the weeks where we have to start taking advantage of this momentum. And even if you don't win the Suns game, you got to pencil all of these big games in your own division. You
I
know,
agree because I look at the
got to
Suns game as a loss. Just telling you right now, they're going to be running
listen.
fast paced. They shoot the three well. I don't like it, but
I
I'm
can't, I
just saying.
can't, I can't argue that, right? Like that's almost unarguable because they are a legit playoff team, top four, top
And they got a
five
true
team
point guard.
in the West, and a
Yeah.
great shooting guard. Come on,
Well, yeah.
Booker. Come
I
on,
mean, come on. All right. Yeah. Come on.
exactly. But like we've seen the Hornets, we haven't seen the Suns yet, right? All season.
No.
So this is a
No.
new team for us. But we've seen the Hornets, we've seen the Hawks. Even though the Hawks are playing well, we can beat them. We've shown it. We got the Raptors. We've seen them. We know what they're capable of. These are the games we have to play good in. The Bulls, we've seen them. We beat them. You know,
Although
we
Levine
got
is
to get.
playing crazy right now.
I get it, but you got to get fat here. This is where you got to get fat in your own in the Eastern Conference. Stay above the threshold. So
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're looking at these next 3 games, what do you think about the Hornets game? Who wins that one? We know what
I'm
they need to do, but what do you think is going to happen?
I can't get my mind on. I think what's going to happen, I think what needs to happen is going to happen, in my opinion. I think we're gonna get the 3 that we need to get. I think we're gonna get the Hornets game, we're gonna get the Hawks game, and we're gonna get the Raptors game. We'll probably lose the Suns game, and then come back and win 2 more that you don't see on a screen right now. But it's the Bulls game and the Rockets game. For those of you who've seen it earlier, because I scrolled up before. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at these 4 games that we see in front of us right now. Hornets, Hawks, Raptors are the games we're going to talk about before we come back on. But in those, I'm going 3-0. I'm going 3-0.
I agree with you.
3-0.
That was tough, huh? Nah, I'm with you.
Did I
I,
talk
I
you
I
into
see the
it?
same. No, no, I see
Just
the same thing.
because.
The only difference I see with the Raptors is if the
Van
point
Fleet.
guard is there. Yeah,
Van
if
Fleet.
Van Fleet is there, I could
It's a
see
tough
it
game.
being a little tough. But if not, I could see them winning that game. I know the Hawks. The Hawks is tricky only because they could have one of those really like a good 3-point shooting team. If you have one of them lights out 3-point shots going,
Right.
who knows? You never know. But
Right.
other than that, I see them winning these three. I see them, yeah, I see them definitely doing that and losing to the Suns, as I already told you. But
Right.
yeah, man, you got to get fat against
Division.
your
Yeah.
division. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to do it. You got to do it. And I think that's what this momentum is like. I think because we rode this momentum and we're in a 6-game winning streak, I think Tibbs is going to be preaching. Don't let up. Don't let up. We got to get past this couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And play, consistent basketball. Uh, um, what Rose said in his post game is, we got to take each game, right? We got to focus on each and every game, singular, not focus about weeks ahead. Take each and every game, practice well, and then play hard. And I think we're going to be good. But
Mhm.
just show that grit, and I think we'll be in these games. None of these games are going to be kind of a cakewalk. Never going to say that, because the Hornets have, shown that they can win games against us. They've been really close in the games even that we won. Um, and the same goes for the Hawks and the Raptors, of course. So none of these are going to be any cakewalks. It's just we got to win these games, and I think the mindset is that. So I'm rooting for the Knicks 3-0.
All right. That sounds
You
good
know,
to
man.
me, man. Sounds good. So,
Let me stop sharing.
you know, we can't wish for anything better. We
Yeah,
talking about the team we love. They're playing great basketball. They've got winnable games in the foreseeable future. They've got
right.
a chance to make it in the playoffs. They've got a player who's playing out of his mind. Like, what more do you want? Like, I'm really excited as a Knick fan. I hope the
Yeah.
people out there are excited as well. If you're a Knick fan, you must be loving this. If you're not a
Uh-huh.
Knick fan, but you're kind of on the, this is a
On the
good time to,
fence.
come on over. It's
Jump
okay.
on the
We,
bandwagon
yeah.
again.
We like the on the fence guys. The haters, y'all can stay where you're at. We need that hate. Just keep doing what you're doing.
That's a fact. Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, man, this has been another great one.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate chopping it up with you once again.
All the time.
Thank you for always giving me that
I'm
insight that
giving
I
that motivation. 3 and
yeah,
0.
man.
We talking
But
about 3 and 0.
that positive attitude, man. Because sometimes even when I'm down about the Knicks and I say I don't know if it's gonna happen, John will come out. What do you mean they're gonna win?
What you talking about, man?
Yeah, man. No,
Which
it's
is
great.
interesting, because we couldn't have said this last year or a couple of years prior. We couldn't have said every game that we've talked about in the past was like, man, they had a chance. They only, build on some consistency. If they only had a go-to guy, if they only had something, it was
Yeah.
always, if they only had an extra player, or when Melo was here, they only had a healthy Amari. It was always something. We ain't got to say that anymore. We're not even focused on a 1-2 punch. We just like, we got Randu. Everyone else are key. You know what I mean? And everyone's contributing.
I'm
So
with it.
it's
Can't be
pretty
mad
dope.
at it.
It's
It's
pretty
great.
dope.
Well, hey, this has been another great one. Once again, I appreciate you. Jose, thanks
Yes.
for holding it down for us once again.
Yes,
We still
sir.
doing it. Still Knick fans. We still here. Y'all out there, thanks for tuning in to the Still Knick Fans podcast. This has been episode 17. We're still going. The
Yep.
season is getting close to coming to an end. Then we're talking about, playoff basketball.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know what to think about that.
That's gonna
But
be fun.
yeah, man, but stay tuned. We'll keep doing what we can to give you the best possible content we can provide. Try to do some things. I know, I said in the past that, we're going to hope to kind of bring new things to the podcast, and we still are. Although I didn't realize how fast this season is going. Like it's happening so quick. but we're going to still continue to do things and bring you new looks and different things. And then we may have something for you in the future. It may not even be basketball related. Shh, I don't know. I said too much. I don't know.
Yo, Ron, before we check out though, let's give when does the playoff start? When does play-in start?
Well, okay. So for those out there, because I didn't know this either, we had to do some research. John took the liberty of looking this up. The play-in tournament starts on May 18th to the 21st. So those are kind of like, because of this new system we got going on, it's like teams on the bubble, if you will.
Right.
Kind of like you look at it like a wild card in baseball, how they have that one wild card game. Well, there'll be the play-in tournament. So these will
10 to 8 seed, right?
Right. These are going to decide who are those last teams, and who's going to finish out and make it to that last spot in the playoffs. Kind of, it's new, so I that's how they're kind of describing it. But we've never seen it happen before, so it's the first time. So we'll see what it is. And then playoff basketball actually starts May 22nd to July 22nd. So
it's right around the corner.
That should be pretty. That should be pretty good too.
Almost a month away, legit. We're on today is what, the 18th of April.
Yep.
It's legit almost a month away.
Just to throw this out there, because I never think about this. The NBA draft is July 29th. So sometimes I always say, damn, when's the next draft? I always have to Google it. But if you're listening to Still Knick fans and you're watching our podcast, you just heard it here right now. July 29th is the next NBA draft.
Yeah.
So thank you to my brother John for looking up this information and getting us right. We got to be right.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, man. But thanks again once, for being a part of this and us continuing to chop it up. And
tune in, subscribe, share, hit the like button, do all those great things.
What I
mean? Send us an email. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. What else we got? I don't know. Catch us from time to time on Sportscast, that we may do something live. Who knows? That's all I got, man.
No,
Have a great night.
You said it all. Y'all take care. Take it easy. We'll see you in the next episode. We out of here.
Peace.
It's a litmus test just to see who's better.